Have you tuned into Karishma Connect yet? If you haven't, what are you waiting for? Yalla yalla, come on, join in the conversation. Well, on this episode, I've got somebody who has made the word come on in Arabic pretty much the purpose of his business to encourage more people to learn the language. Come on, take the challenge and join School of Yalla. I've got Kareem with me talking to me about his journey of setting up this language learning edutainment platform for people and giving them a place where they can hone in on their skills and actually become great Arabic speakers, and how that can help elevate your journey if you're working in the region or even otherwise, and why language is a great source for self discipline. Go check out the episode. All that and more only on Karishma Connect. And until the next one, stay tuned. This is Karishma and I'll be back very soon. Tada. Thank you so much, Kareem, for joining me on this episode of Karishma Connect. It's a pleasure to have you. I can't wait to hear more about School of Yalla. So, Yalla, let's begin. Tell me about your journey.
Yalla. Amazing. Thank you for having me. Yes. So I think when we were chatting earlier, you mentioned, there's a lot of things that happened during the pandemic. Obviously, a lot of negative things, but also with regards to certain projects, a lot of projects were started, a lot of businesses were started, and they blossomed into something beautiful. So School of Yalla is actually one of those things. It's a COVID baby.
No.
And yeah. So I can explain more detail what exactly
Yes,
you are.
please.
Okay, cool. So basically, we're an online e-learning platform. Teaching Arabic. Basically, we're simplifying the whole process of Arabic teaching. We combine the media and the tech element. So, we have all the videos and community, but also, apps and what people students can log in, take a class, watch lectures, do exercises, and all these things. So yeah, basically an e-learning platform. We're combining media, tech, and community as well. And simplifying the process, making it edutainment, basically.
And were you always here? What did you do before this?
No, so if I was like, when I tell this story to my friends, or like my friends, they like make fun of me for completely changing. Like it's just such a random change. So my background actually was I worked in corporate, I worked in banks, I worked in consulting, and it was a very niche kind of niche sector that I worked in. It was anti-money laundering.
Wow.
And risk management. So yeah, completely different. But I always liked languages, and I was always kind of learning a language or teaching on the side. So yeah, when the pandemic happened, before that I was just helping friends out with Arabic. I was attending French classes, learning Spanish. So I was always in the language learning world. And when COVID happened, it seemed like, a lot of people had extra time on their hands. And some of my friends were like, hey, can you just teach us for fun? And yeah, I started teaching, and then started an Instagram page, and then other social media, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. And just posted content on there. And then that developed into a community, and that community kind of pushed me for more content. They're like, okay, we would like for you to kind of teach us or build something for us where we can learn. So yeah, that turned into an online platform and then a community. So we not only have you log in and take a class, but you have an opportunity to connect with us, ask questions. There's customer service. We have teachers that are, you can meet in bonus classes and workshops. So we have, the human element as well. So yeah, like I said, combining media, tech, and community also.
And why do you think, because you have a passion, as far as I understand, to learn languages, I can ask you this question, that what do you think learning languages does to you as a person?
Okay, very good question. It does a lot. Does a lot, actually. On the relationship level, whether personal or professional, you will improve. So if you have, let's go with the Arabic example because it's the Arabic teaching platform, but you can apply this to any language you're learning. If you have, Arabic friends and you speak Arabic to them, or if you're meeting people that are Arabs and you speak a bit of Arabic, automatically the trust level goes up at a personal level. Also at a professional level, if you work in sales, for example, and two people come up to me and they want to sell me a car. One guy says, "Nice to meet you." The other guy says, "Sharrafna," and they're both foreigners. They're not Arabs, and they're not Arabic speakers, but one has taken the time to actually, whether he learned or not, but he's taking the time to research that word and say it to me automatically. I'm like, "Hey, how do you speak Arabic?" I'd say I speak a bit. I took a class. I have friends. Automatically, there's something there right away.
Yes.
So as far as the external life, I think it's always positive things, positive, positive, positive. Personally, and from a personal development standpoint, what language learning will do to you, and I've seen this with myself, I've seen this with people in our community, self-discipline. It will improve your self-discipline immensely because it's a long-term skill. It's not something like people that join some of my classes or people that take classes. I always tell them, guys, language learning is a long-term goal. And now you will, if the course is like a month or two, you will have certain objectives. We will tick those objectives off. Like you want to learn how to introduce yourself, order a cafe. We'll get, of course, you're going to learn all this. But to continue with it, it's a long-term objective. And to see yourself, to get to a seasoned level, I don't want to say fluent because it takes time to get fluent, but to get to a good conversational level takes time and patience. But once you unlock that, and I've done that with myself, for myself as an adult, once you unlock that, it's like, okay, this is what I can achieve with a bit of self-discipline and patience. I can speak another language. And that opens so many doors.
Yeah.
So 100% self-discipline, I'll say. And then from an opportunity standpoint, opens up so many opportunities, I think.
Absolutely. Because see, I have personally studied Arabic for almost 20 years now, living in the region where we were students of the language. And although I must admit that despite having learned it for so many years, when it comes to conversation, it's always been an issue. You
For
don't
sure.
you don't become adept enough to speak as fluent as you want to, or comprehend. I could read, I could write, I could understand a little bit, but even today, if somebody is talking to me, I will not know as much as I would like to know. And that's when I agree that it's literally a long-term process. I mean, 20 years in, and you still kind of feel that, okay, I don't know. And this is somebody who's spent time studying the language. Which is why when the concept of School of Yalla came to me, I felt like I could resonate with somebody starting this kind of a platform. And I want to ask you, was something like that the need factor for you? Because there are many language courses around, but what's different about this?
Okay, very good question. I'll say two things. One, the fact that it's conversational, like we're teaching you conversational Arabic. So you mentioned, you've been studying for 20 years, and I have a lot of friends that are foreigners. They've been here years and years, and they've said they study Arabic, but they can't speak.
Yeah.
And it's most likely due to the type of Arabic they learn. We have something called MSA, Modern Standard Arabic, or Fusha. Fusha, you might have heard this word. This is the formal Arabic. Formal Arabic. It's used during any formal situation, like if you're giving a speech, in the news, and textbooks, any literature uses formal Arabic. But spoken conversational Arabic is a different category. And this is what's not taught typically back in the day. Now there's a lot of resources to learn conversational Arabic. So a lot of people, they go into Arabic not knowing, okay, there's different types of Arabic. What happens if I learn this? What happens if I learn that? There's no good and bad. Obviously, people have a lot of, people that come on our page, they're like, hey, why are you not teaching the literary one? This is not. And then some people respond, and I'll respond, and I'll say, there's no like one size fits all. Learning a language, learning Arabic depends on your goals. So if your goals are conversational, you learn conversational. If you have all the time and you want to get into the literary aspects of this, you want to learn from a religious standpoint, maybe study the Quran. If you want to read textbooks, if you want to read novels, go for the formal Arabic for sure. Ideally, you can combine both if you have time. But a lot of us as adults, we don't have time. So it's very, very important to understand the goals of the learner. This is what's missed. People learn Arabic, they jump into the Fusha, and then they're like, but I never heard this word in the street. Like when I want to buy something, my friends don't use this word. What's going on? And literally, I get stories of students. They tell me we studied Fusha, the formal Arabic, for 2 years, and then we go to Jordan and we can't communicate.
Yeah.
And their goal was just to communicate with locals. They want to go to Jordan. They want to speak with with their family members or friends. They're raised in the U.S. or abroad, so they don't speak Arabic, but they want to practice. But they've learned the formal Arabic. So that's one point I'll say. With us, why we kind of stood out, because there wasn't many resources teaching the practical everyday Arabic. And I get DMs all the time like, hey, whatever you said, I used it in a coffee shop. It worked. It's amazing. I'm going to sign up for your next course or join the community or something. So that's one thing. The second thing I think that's different is the edutainment aspect. Teaching for a lot of people, like when people hear studying or they hear teaching, a lot of people, they're like, I don't want to study. It's boring. We have this idea of learning as like being very traditional or dry or I don't know, just annoying maybe for some people. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to make it fun. So you can learn while still having fun. You need to still have discipline, but we have a coaching program that I recently launched where we teach people something called doable doses of discipline. So I don't need you to study for 2 hours a day, but what I do need you to do is use something called what I call the focused 15 minutes, 15 minutes of focused, uninterrupted work. But you have to do this every day. And so I have a 90-day program where literally I will hold you accountable. Did you do your 15 minutes? Why didn't you do your 15 minutes? What's so important in your life where you couldn't? I get it. We're all busy. We have priorities, but we all have 15 minutes. So, and that's how I learned Spanish. Like I literally over a year and a half, I was just studying every day, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes. And I took 1 hour, 1 hour class per week. So I tell people you need to have this sense of habit, good habit, and doable dose of discipline, right? But with that said, you're taking away the heaviness of studying. You're like, okay, 15 minutes is light, and at the same time you're having fun. You watch some videos, you connect with the community, we're posting funny, entertaining things, relatable things. So yeah, I would say those 2 points, how we're different.
And does the community also support in the conversation itself? Because as a new learner, you're not adept enough to communicate with those who are fluent in the language. So does the community allow that kind of engagement as well?
Practice.
Yeah.
You mean like as far as practicing and applying? Yeah. So right now the way we have things set up, we have different programs. Some programs are just self-paced, like you just buy access to a course and you log in and you kind of like Skillshare or Udemy, these kind of platforms. And then other ones, we have actually live classes involved. So you study on your own time. We'll tell you, week 1, this is what you need to study, watch videos, complete exercises, and you have 1 hour live class with an instructor.
Okay.
And and you have a chance to connect with others, and whatever we aimed to learn that week, we'll practice live. So you will literally be speaking from day one. I'll teach you like how to say my name is, I am from. In your live class, this is what all you're practicing, literally all the things that we have on the checklist.
And you have seen people become fluent in the language after the courses?
Okay, I have, but here's the thing. Fluent is such a loosely used term. Some people will come to me like, hey, I want to be fluent in 6 weeks. My guys, you cannot be fluent in 6 weeks. Fluency for me is being able to speak and understand what the person's saying without any hiccups. Because you can get to a conversation level and still be like, can you repeat that but slower? Or you're still making grammar mistakes. To me, that's conversational, but that's not fluent.
Yeah.
Now, some people have actually stuck with us since I started this, March 2nd, 2020. I remember the exact date, my first post on Instagram. Literally, they stuck with me and with the program until now. And yes, I'm happy to tell you, those that have stuck, it's been like 3 years now, they speak very, very well. They're able to speak, like they'll speak Arabic. But a lot of them are very modest. They'll say like, oh, I'm not fluent yet, but you hear them and they speak and there's not many hiccups, Yeah. but it's a long term. So you can't like just take one course and be fluent, unless maybe that's a 4 year. It depends. Every person's different, but you can't do this like 6 week thing and expect to be fluent. No, you're gonna learn a lot, but this is the biggest misconception. Like, take one course, I'll be fluent, and then when they don't get fluent, they just give up.
Yeah.
So I like to set the expectation from the beginning. On when our sign up pages, when we do open up registration for some of the live classes, one of the frequently asked questions is, hey, will I be fluent? And I just say, I'm like, if anybody tells you you'll be fluent in 6 weeks, run away. You will not be fluent.
Very true.
But you will,
Oh.
right? But you will achieve the things we set out to achieve. Like we have a checklist of things and topics, and you will be able to say these as long as you're studying, you're following the program, you will be able to.
That's true. I was recently also interviewing an Arabic translator on the show, and she told me, she said, there's so much of nuance that is associated with the language itself. She said, if I have to translate a caption that says take a break from the heat for somebody in Dubai, I wouldn't even say that in the first place, because Dubai is no the heat, so it doesn't matter to them, that you're taking a break. So when she was explaining as well, she said the same thing. She said there's so much of nuance associated with the language itself that it takes time to develop that kind of skill set,
sure.
comprehend at that level. Tell me, a lot of people actually end up leaving that journey. Like they end up giving up in between, and you slightly touched upon it in your response earlier. Why do you think that happens, and how can people cross that stage?
Okay, very good question. Okay, and I think about these things all the time, so I'm like, I already have an answer. And I'll say this. So two things again. One, like you said, we touched on the expectation aspect.
Yeah.
They set their expectation too high, and then when it doesn't happen, they're like, oh, this is not for me. It's like same thing with like going to the gym. Like I'm trying to bulk up, but this requires a lot of consistency, the right diet, having a diet plan, all these things. If to me, I'm like, I want to do this in a month, and I do it, I'm eating right, I'm training hard, but I only give it a month, thinking that in a month I'm gonna be like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Of course I'm gonna give up because I set the wrong expectation. So people need to, that's why I always repeat this. I'm like, guys, language learning requires patience. You stick with it long enough, you will see results. You will impress people with like how good you will be, only if you just keep doing the same thing every day. And it works for anything, any skill really. Like I ask people, when was the last time you did something just for 10 minutes, only for 10 minutes every day for 30 days? Like other than the basics, other than like drinking coffee, brushing our teeth, what's one thing that you actually put in like 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes? After 1 month, you will definitely see like something improve. 100%. It will not be like here. It will be an improvement, but it's important to understand the expectation, right? And like, okay, if I actually do this every day for a year, what's going to happen? I've already seen a preview with 1 month. Imagine for a year. So that's one reason, like setting the wrong expectation. And I've seen this. We've had like, thankfully, thousands of people join, thousands of a big audience, a large audience on the social media pages. You have people that are very motivated, but then they fall off. I'm gonna add actually one more thing to that. And there's a quote that goes, motivation gets you started, but habit keeps you going. Okay. You can use this with motivation gets you started, but habit keeps you going. So a lot of times we're motivated, January 1st is coming up, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna learn a language, I'm gonna learn a guitar. Yeah. And we're like so motivated, but we haven't trained ourselves to build the habit of that skill, of learning that skill. So also just habit building. And then finally just prioritizing. If you're not prioritizing this thing, you're not going to see results, because if we all working hard after a long day of work, maybe you don't want to study anything, you want to do anything, that means the thing you were supposed to do is not a priority. If it's a priority, it's the first thing you do. Yeah. So that's why I see a lot of people, not taking it as seriously, because it's not one of those instant gratification things. It's not like do it and then boom. It's like, be patient, but not everybody's willing to invest that time for a long-term thing, because it's not instant. You don't see like, if I learn like 10 words, automatically my salary is gonna go up. But if you stick to it for a year, I'm pretty sure to get to a conversation level, this will impact your career in a positive way. That's why I tell people.
Absolutely. And I think that's also even in the I think language per se over the years has also kind of the approach to language has changed. Like the generations that are coming in, I don't know how far they are because it's also become at the click of a button, right? Everything has become
Mm,
accessible at the click of a button.
true,
Uh,
true.
that's my other question to you that you are in the business of edutainment, you're in the business of teaching and you're using tech. But tell me,
Mm.
where does it stop for you wherein human touch precedes above all else? What difference does that human touch make to the entire process? Do you think tech can really
Mm.
do everything, or that bridge is needed?
Good question. Okay. Yes. So, tech is obviously at stages or at levels we've never seen before. We're so advanced right now with tech. There's so many language learning apps. Um, if you did want to learn, there's a lot of resources. But
Yeah.
I always say how we're different. We combine the tech element
Mm,
and the community, the human element, you
mm,
know? And in any language, you can be on an app for like 20 hours. But if you're not actually speaking to a human, it's not the same.
yeah.
I in high school I learned French, but we were studying like textbook, and we weren't practicing much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great teachers, great content, but we didn't get a chance to practice much, and that's why like I knew so many grammar rules. But when someone would say something to me in French, I freeze, because it's a
Mhm.
totally different ball game when it comes time to speak. So yeah, tech is always it's advancing at rapid speeds, but the same time when it comes to language, like it's a very personal thing, like
Mm.
language you're speaking. Like imagine now we're speaking, but I have to Google Translate everything and tell you, and then you have to Google Translate and then you tell me, and then it's not smooth,
Yeah.
and it takes away from maybe the vibe or the how you want to deliver the message.
Like,
So yeah, so I think human element for sure is important, and I think that's what kind of differentiates a lot of platforms from others.
yeah. Yeah. All right, now I'm gonna ask you straight up. Tell me five basic words that everyone
Uh-huh.
must know in Arabic, just for
Okay,
those who are
cool.
watching.
Okay, good question. So I'll have to start with, the most obvious one right here.
Yalla.
Yalla. Yalla. We have to go with Yalla, School of Yalla. Yalla, so you know Yalla is basically two things. It's Ya Allah. So like kind of
Yeah.
oh God. But in spoken Arabic, we just combine it, and it's pronounced Yalla as you pronounce it. And it means things like come on, let's go, hurry up,
Mm.
yalla, 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 hurry up, come on, yalla, come
Yeah.
on, these kinds of things. So it's very, very common in many, many parts of the Middle East. You will hear this,
Yes.
yalla. So I'll say yalla, first one.
Yeah.
Second one, I'll teach this one from my dialect, but it exists in so many other different types of Arabic. So the Arabic typically that we teach is Palestinian, Jordanian Arabic,
Okay.
which falls under what's called the Levantine umbrella. It's a type of Arabic involving the countries Jordan, Palestine, Syria, and Lebanon.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Now, each country obviously has its own kind of different certain expressions or what have you, but at a grammatical level, kind of they're categorized under this umbrella of Levantine Arabic, the region of Levant, Jordan, Palestine, Syria, Lebanon. So simple question, simple word to know is the word fi, but fi it means in,
Yeah.
but the fi I'm giving you here is in spoken Arabic, conversation Arabic. We also have in, but in this context, the fi I'm giving you is there is. It can be used for there is
Okay.
or is there. Is there. So when you want to ask someone like is there or are there a lot of people?
Uh,
Fi nas, are there people? Fi nas, if you just like
okay.
booking I don't know, fi hajz, is there a reservation? Fi mushkile, is there a problem? Is
Yeah.
there?
Liz.
Fi,
Yeah.
yeah. So fi is very, very widely used, I would say. It can mean there is there are there. These four things, super useful.
Okay.
And then you said five, yeah? 5 words?
At 5. But how many am I
Okay. Okay, تمام, I have. عندي.
Okay.
Have you come across عندي?
No. No.
عندي is I have. عندي.
Aindi. Do you say it as Aindi?
عندي, very good, yeah.
Okay.
With the عين sound, yeah.
Okay.
عندي, I have.
Okay.
I have. So you can say عندي أي شيء. عندي مشكلة, I have a problem. عندي أي شيء. عندي, and you add whatever. You could say the word in English too, the noun, but عندي, you're gonna hear it. عندي a lot. Very common.
Okay.
And then I don't know. It's not ما في معلوم. A lot of people say ما في معلوم, but this isn't like but in Arabic يعني, yeah, it's understood, but it's not like يعني I wouldn't say like proper Arabic, you know. The conversational word, the phrase to know is ما بعرف. ما بعرف.
Ma baraf. We used to
Very
say
good.
laraf.
لا أعرف, yeah. So لا أعرف, the la with negating certain verbs. This is formal Arabic. لا أعرف.
Okay.
لا أعرف. Yeah, but it's okay. Like you can use it, but it's just not used in conversational, you know, everyday kind of phrases.
Yeah.
But it's very close. Yeah, ما بعرف versus لا أعرف. تمام. And then last one, fifth one, خلاص. خلاص.
Alas.
خلاص. Enough. خلاص. Yeah.
One
خلاص.
that I know very commonly nowadays is tayyib.
طيب, yes, correct. We
Anything
use
and
this a lot.
everything is tayyib.
طيب, yeah. طيب, تمام. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
It's a lovely language. I think there's so much to learn, and it's also very interesting because different cultures have different influences. Some cultures, and in Arabic itself, I know that there are so many dialects. Plus, there are other cultures who kind of have similar forms of writing or similar forms of speaking, and it's so
Right.
vast, and there's so much to
Right.
learn from
Right.
the language itself.
Right.
My last question to you is more from an entrepreneurship perspective. You've started a business in a field that's not chosen by many, that's not your mainstream business prospect that people look at. Tell me, as a founder, the challenges of navigating that and how you managed to get through the different hurdles along the way.
Okay. Okay, so because this was a very different kind of field than what I was in, I had to spend a lot of time, you know, I literally had to start from scratch, from zero again. So, you know, just biggest challenges at the beginning was just setting everything up,
Yeah.
you know, building the product. And then later came, you know, marketing the product and selling the product. But all these things around building something, whether it's a service or product or selling, I didn't know how to do. Like the past 3 years, I've just immersed myself. Okay, how to build like a very good product. I'm taking care of that, but we're obviously still always improving. But the second thing is like how to market. What's the best way to market? How to sell to people? These are things that, okay, you can have an idea and you can have backing from investors, but if you don't know how to sell, you don't have a business.
Yeah.
So so one of the biggest challenges for entrepreneurs or any entrepreneurs starting out, I would recommend, you know, they read a lot of sales books, they attend sales seminars, because this skill is such an impactful and important skill, vital skill to have in business. So yeah, I would say this kind of this challenge, just kind of learning everything. One very important thing that people miss a lot is when you're in a situation, regardless how bad it is, regardless how good it is, whatever the situation, there is 100% other people going through the same thing. Like 100%. Even if it's super detailed thing, there will be someone else going through it, or there's someone else that has gone through it in the past.
Yeah.
So lucky enough, along the journey, I met someone that is doing something exactly what I'm doing, but for French.
Okay.
But he was 10 years down the line. Like he's been doing it for 10, 11 years now. And we stayed in touch, you know, he's kind of like a mentor, but also we share ideas. This is how I'm doing things. I'm using, you know, this is how we launch this product, or this is what we're doing. And we just kind of share ideas. But it was good to be in touch with someone who's been through that journey. So when I have a complaint or when I kind of am going through a tough time, like, this isn't working, be like, okay, well, this is what happened to me. This is what I did. Obviously, it's a different time now because tech changes so quickly, the world changes quickly 5 years later. But the concept of dealing with things, the mindset of it, the tactics, the overall strategy is the same. So 100%, I say uh, surround yourself with like-minded people, people that are doing what you're doing or have done what you achieve, what you are striving to achieve. And yeah, also by attending, conferences, seminars, invest in yourself. At the beginning, you have to be a sponge to learn as much as you can. Make the product and then know how to sell it, how to market it, and then just keep working on those skills.
It's a wonderful note. Lastly, just really quickly tell me, how can people sign up? Where do they go?
For sure.
Where do they find
For
out?
sure. So I would say that right now the easiest way is to take our free mini course. Once you've joined our free mini course, you will get notified when registration opens, because we don't open registration around the year at specific times. So we have a free mini course. You can take it. It gives you access to an online course, and then you'll be notified as soon as we open up registration. So yeah, you can follow us on Instagram. Find the link on there at School of Yalla.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kareem. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Great questions.
Most welcome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Cheers.